what you do and
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. Um, I've recently been in touch with Joe, so I don't know the full ins and outs of everything that you're all going through. I appreciate it's going through the course or fully where you're up to, but I hope it's all going well for you all, and good work for taking on the challenge as well. I'm James, so I run a recruitment company. We're based in Manchester. So there is it's 12 people at the moment. I actually set it up with my brother, and we're called 2B Talent Solutions. We couldn't think of a better name or most recruitment companies have two names, so we just put 2B for two brothers or two Brantons or two worst B names you can think of. And we recruit for startup tech companies basically, and we're turned 11 years old in February, and that's all across Europe as well. So it's like senior level people. It's pretty cool because you get to deal with a lot of these founders at the businesses, and they're not very corporate. It's all very easy to get along with, super sharp people. And as recruitment goes, obviously you guys aren't going down that sort of route career path, but as far as it goes, it's a pretty decent industry to be in because you get to operate with some cool people, and we get to travel across Europe to go and meet all the clients and candidates as well. And there's always good events on. We're based also because we are actually hiring as well. We're based in the Bonded Warehouse, which is just near the Museum of Science and Industry. So that's just near kind of between Spinningfield and Castlefields and the whole new area. And in the buildings behind me, Booking.com have taken a building there, and all of that. So I think kind of just going on the introductions here, Joe, I'll carry on for a bit. In terms of what I do, so I'm one of the founders here. My brother's also the co-founder. Um, I literally do a little bit of everything. So I do sales, marketing, HR, finance, operations, admin, make the coffees still, and get involved with it all. And I think, I guess trying to relate it to where any of you may be, if you're considering setting up your own business or, yeah, or going freelance or whatever, I think it's not bad to be able to have the skills to be able to do a little bit of everything. If you enjoy that, it can be frustrating if you really want to focus on something specific and niche, because you get pulled in a lot of different angles. But I think for me, it works out quite well. So yeah, like at the moment, I am the marketing manager as well. So doing it pretty light touch, but we are looking for someone to actually come in and help out with that side of it all as well. Um, so is that helpful, Joe, for that introduction?
yeah, definitely. No, thank you for that. So sort of following on from obviously you've started your own business and you've been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah.
Could you tell us sort of the challenges that you've had from right from the beginning when you've started setting it up and how that was and to where you are now where you're, as you said, you're kind of doing a bit of everything.
Yeah.
What challenges have you found during this journey?
Yeah, I think. Would you like me to shape this up from people who are considering maybe going on a freelance or really starting up from the scratch? I mean, would that be beneficial, do you think? Yeah, I'm just trying to see what would get the most value for here for people.
Yeah, because there'll be a lot of people that are freelancers or small business owners, people that are a bit on the fence. But it's always good to understand, even if you are looking for employment, what the other end of that could look like. For
Yeah.
people that have these businesses that are now people are applying for. It's good to know the challenges that they might have faced.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I think the sort of story for me was that I studied law, but and I was okay. I was quite good at like the education side, but the I didn't really want to go down that corporate path, and I think we see that probably more and more with the this modern generation. It's that it's kind of steer away from the corporate world. Um, my situation was I just worked for a very aggressive Wolf of Wall Street style recruitment company for 3 years. But they didn't have a big focus on like relationships and human touch and the candidate experience, which was massive to me, and I think kind of was a big part of my values. So we just worked for those guys for 3 years, and when we set the business up, all I wanted to do was basically set the same way up I was doing it in that company, but do it for ourselves. And we had a little windowless two-person office in Leeds before we moved back to Manchester. Um, like when you look at it like that, I guess there wasn't a huge amount of barriers that we faced at that point because it was just right. We wrote a quick website, it was fairly easy to create, and we just got the phone contracts. Well, we couldn't actually get the phone contracts in our name because we had a student overdraft that hadn't gone off my credit rating by now, so we had to get a friend to put the contracts in our names. Um, But I think then once we were up and running, it was all good. I think a lot of the obstacles come when you start trying to go through growth pains as well, when you start trying to hire people, when you start trying to actually build the business, which is a separate topic. I think what we talked about here in terms of the obstacles for a lot of people is about confidence as well. So in my situation, I obviously went and worked for a company for 3 years and put the skills to the test, and then I was able to go and do my own thing. And I think with anybody, when it comes to the confidence aspect, particularly if you focus around digital marketing or something creative and building those things, is just to put the work in as many times as you possibly can. So you're so used to doing that process that you can't be anything but confident. So wherever you start, it might not be the best, but if you keep repeating it and don't give up and don't give up, eventually you'll perfect it. And I think that's an important thing, is that don't get disheartened at the start if you think it's not quite right, or if you're working with a client and the brief isn't quite right. You're going to have those types of things, but your confidence will build as you just do it more and more and more. And I think particularly when it comes to maybe the marketing realm, is that think about the long term. Like, don't think, oh, the world's collapsing because I've had negative feedback from a client, or I mean, maybe I've messed that one thing up. Think about in 6 months' time how far your skills are going to be advanced if you keep practicing, and try not to get too bogged down in the sort of day-to-day thing or the immediate feedback, really. So I just had a question there as well. Is this how they pop up, Joe? Right. So I don't have the chat open.
Yeah. So people can put their hands up to ask questions, or people can ask in the chat. So yeah, Josh has asked, it would be beneficial if we could talk about how you got your business out there from the startup point of view, what paid ads or any other advertising you did that you found the most beneficial?
Yeah, so when we kind of put the business out there, it's heavily reliant on outbound, which is sales, right? So that's how we start up. We use our network, we're directly contacting people, and that's like a mixture of email outreach, of leaning on the network, of cold calling and selling to them. I think what I'm shifting towards now, and I guess might be quite beneficial, is a really big focus on personal brand. And I had a bit of a key point here that I thought could help people if they're at the start of their journey, is that, say if you're eager to work with a business, right, and you might have contacted them, or you may have applied, or you tried speaking to someone and you're running into a little bit of a dead end. One thing I always think is really good advice is find that company and look at some of their branding, maybe whatever it is, look at their website, look at their LinkedIn posts or whatever that may be, and create a small video or document or social slide, right? And do it for free. And if you think you can do better than what they have, create it and send it to them, and send it to the key person. And if it's better, it's going to open the door. And I know it's like the idea of doing something for free, but you do that for the companies that you really want to work with, that if you do get in with them and you partner as a freelancer, you're going to have, it's going to be great for your brand and your reputation. And it does involve doing a bit of work for free, but if it opens up that conversation, if people are struggling with everything, then I think that could be important as it's a good door opener. Like for example, in our business, I could try and relate it, is that occasionally if I really like a business and we can't get into them, we'll offer them a free candidate that's really relevant. So it's in the same sort of ways that you give something to them, and it's almost like the emotional blackmail. I know that sounds bad, but because you've given them something, they have to then give you something back, right? Or they feel that way. And you could do it several times, and it might not be that the work that you've done is great, but if you tried that a few times, then it's a definite way to open a door to people, and also a way to test your skills because you're practicing as well. I think that's one. So, and then sorry, I know a bit all over the place. It's new to me doing this sort of approach, right? So I think yeah, in terms of where we're at now, I think personal brand for me is massive, and anybody can start setting that up. So a platform that we use one of the most is LinkedIn. And I think for any freelancers or people in the digital marketing realm or thinking about setting up their own company, every business I speak to, every other founder that I know a lot of founders in recruitment struggle with marketing, and they find it very difficult. And there is always very easy ways to get in if you're freelance marketer or digital marketer by simply displaying what you do. And if you post your work on LinkedIn, if you engage with people, use LinkedIn as a really valuable tool. Keep building your network, connecting to people. You can connect to 100 people a week before it says stop connecting. I would really advise mapping out the types of people you want to connect with and connect with them, and just start with posting content. And that content can be your work, it can be your thoughts, it can just be anything about you personal. Get your LinkedIn profile really well optimized. There's loads of things online to go through that, a good picture, like a good write-up, and stay consistent with the content. There's actually someone who is he's a very young person, and he set up his own LinkedIn personal branding business. And I've only just come across him because of the work that I've seen him doing on LinkedIn. I've never even met him in person. I've never even spoke to him before. And now he's starting up a little podcast, but because I've seen him and I like the way he's communicating, I'm going on that podcast, which will help his brand grow up, because I'm quite heavy on the videos at the moment, and that has I have like 11, 12,000 followers on LinkedIn. And since I started on the personal branding journey, that's increased by 3,000, and that was only in November last year. So we've also had a lot of inbound leads for clients from the back of that as well. It took a month of posting before we had the first inbound client. So people are seeing it, and you might have to start small, but LinkedIn is the future. It's the present and the future. So a big thing that I would say to everyone, if you're not on LinkedIn, then really, get into that for sure.
Yeah, we do cover personal branding, and we talk a lot about LinkedIn during week 6 and I believe week 9. Yeah, we're big on sort of LinkedIn and the importance of it. So we always talk about like what are your values, what are your pillars, what do you actually want to talk about. But no, that's brilliant. So
Yeah.
we've got some more questions in here. Karina has asked, what's your best advice for someone suffering with imposter syndrome?
I think it's a tough one. It's not something that well, I suppose I have suffered from it before. I think at the end of the day, everyone's out there in the same pool. And the way I try and look at life when it comes to something confident, if you absolutely mess something up, then it's going to make a good story in the future. But if you get it right, you're going to learn the lesson, and you're going to morph into the person that you thought you were being an imposter, thought you were being an imposter for. So it's I guess I'm not answering that very well, to be honest with you. But look, we all have one life, and if you have an opportunity and you're worried about whether you can live up to that opportunity, then you've got to just do your best to forget about it. I always, if I'm ever a bit nervous or in a situation where I'm having a bit of stress about something, I just think of something really bad that's happened in the past. I know that sounds bad, and it makes this thing that I'm about to do seem very small. If you know what I mean, it's just like a little technique that I have. Or think of like a rough situation you've been in that you've got through, and then you build that confidence, like we said, because it's the repetitions of it all. Um,
Yeah,
so
this we've noticed this massively, especially because the market now is so competitive. A lot of people are just reluctant to put themselves out there or apply for jobs because they read a job spec and maybe there's a few things in the job spec that maybe they don't have a degree, or they don't match it in some way, and that's just an automatic no in their head. But actually, we've really tried to encourage people to um, see the value in what they do and what they can do, and find other ways of showcasing their talent.
yeah,
Just because maybe a job spec might request a degree, actually, if you can blow them away in another way, they might be, they're all human. We can all negotiate. We can all change our minds. So
yeah.
we've got some more questions. So Roxy's asked, could we have some ideas for creating a portfolio of what to show clients um, when you're starting out and haven't had previous clients
Yeah.
before?
I saw that one, and I think I think again it comes down to, look, if you're at the start of this journey and you have free time and you want to practice your skills, literally just create things for companies that you might not even be working with. It doesn't, you can still put that in your portfolio. I don't know if there's copyright issues there. This is how I would hustle it, right? So is that, don't just sit there going, right, I need a client in order to be able to do the work. You have the free time, you can be practicing and doing the work, get those repetitions in, find a few businesses that you like the look of and create some branding around that. You can obviously then put that into your portfolio. At least you can show it to potential clients, but you could also send it to the business to try and get your foot in the door to start working with them, particularly if it's good. So I think that that would be it, is that like you don't have to wait for clients in order to start doing the work. You can start doing the work and start marketing that out there. And then you could just do things that you're passionate about or you enjoy and put that into your portfolio. I mean, it's yeah, it's difficult because obviously I'm not in that situation in terms of my business, but that's how my brain would work, is to start doing the work, base it on other businesses that are real, and then build that into your portfolio, I guess.
We've had another question about portfolios actually, which is actually quite a good question. So, would you recommend a digital portfolio and or a hand copy? So, guess there are a lot of interviews that happen virtually, which if you can send that over via digitally, that would be ideal. Share your screen, but then a hand copy if you're actually then going to an interview and you've not been able to actually show your portfolio previously. If when you're hiring, what would you like to see? Would you like to see both or one or the other?
Sorry, Joe, I think my internet's skipping.
Oh dear, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I've got you here. Sorry about that. I'm not too sure. Never used to have any issues. Um, on that question, so I got the most of it. I would say 100% the digital portfolio. I just think that's the way it is. Look, and I guess from my perspective, if I'm looking to hire somebody and they have a portfolio, if I can just click a simple link and review their work and see it clearly, it's a no-brainer. You know, the process of printing it out and having it having it there, it's great to see in person, I guess, but everyone's viewing everything online these days. It's like 99.9% of stuff's viewed online. So I would definitely get a digital portfolio. I don't know if there's tools out there or websites you can use to create them, but make it as simple as possible to view, and maybe break it down into like graphics, video, whatever it may be, and have a clear section. Um, and I think also, like, I've been looking at a few portfolios of people recently that have been getting sent to me, and I think, even if there's a way to create the portfolio that's in line with what you believe branding should be. I think right from the start, when I looked at the portfolios that I was being sent, it wasn't just the actual work in the portfolio; it was how that visually came across. And I think that's how people are looking at these things: is that, like, is this a real representation of you as a brand as well, not just the work you're doing, but how you're presenting those skills as well, or that sort of approach to it all. So I think yeah, 100% have the online one. I think that's a given, and something that you need at least. And then if there's any specific stuff you could take in person, or if you were going to a meeting, you could design something that was specific to that client, almost in a little gift type of thing, or whatever it may be. That's going to make a difference as well and make you memorable.
We've got Justine that's asked a question. Are there enough jobs out there, or do you think now that there are more applicants than jobs?
Um, for me, if you're a talented, creative digital marketer, freelance marketer, there is always work out there for you at 100%. The without, in fact, without a shadow of a doubt. And that's just me going off conversations I have with other business owners, that they have masses and masses of pain around creation of, like, good looking online social things, whatever it is, videos, everything like that. Like, it's a massive pain point. And I think how my brain works as well is that a lot of the time, if I'm looking for, if I was in a situation of the guys here and I was looking for a specific actual job, I wouldn't just be looking at the job boards and applying to jobs and waiting for something to happen. I would be proactively contacting the businesses that I wanted to work for. I would outline 10, 15 businesses, 20 businesses, and I would find the people at those businesses. I would explain to those people why I wanted to work for that company. I'd have clear reasons, right? I would then, if it was doing creative stuff, I would create something to show them that was about their company to showcase my skills. I would find them, I'd contact them on LinkedIn, I would find their email address. I would, if I was so eager about it, I would turn up at their place and find them to speak to them. I know that's a little bit stalkerish, but you don't just need to look at job boards and think, right, that's the way to go about it all. That no doubt is a good way to go about it. And I guess in terms of recruitment, I can provide advice on that sort of stuff all day, is that you can make such a bigger impact if you have a big why behind the company, but you convey that to the person that you'd want to speak with, or that would potentially be the hiring manager or someone in the business, whether it's talent acquisition. and a bit of flattery around why you like them, because everyone loves that. You know, that approach isn't guaranteed to get results, but I guarantee you that that level of research that you've done, of the reasons why you want to work for the company, will open up doors and conversations for you. That is like literally one of the biggest tips I'd ever give to someone, because I see it all the time. I hear about people applying to adverts, getting nothing back, weeks go by, constantly applying to ads. You have to take it a level above that, and that proactivity that you demonstrate when you're approaching these businesses, you people are going to think you're going to showcase that level of proactivity when you're in the company, and that can put you in a great spot for the future. And that's the type of skills that people want. That's just away from the actual creative skills, like communication, proactivity, standing out from the crowd. Does that answer that one? Do you think?
Definitely. Yeah, that exactly is the advice that we give as well. Is kind of think a little bit outside the box, and just because a company might not be advertising a job, there might be shadowing opportunities, there might be a job that hasn't actually gone live yet. It could be something that a job that comes out further down the line. And yeah, the why behind why you want to work for that company, doing that research on the company and the people that work there and what they're all about is absolutely key. I think that's what you should be doing before applying for a role is doing the research to make sure that that company is actually something that you want to work with.
Yeah.
I know, well, I would not want to work for a law firm because I'd find it really boring. So I wouldn't just apply for the job just because there's a job there that I could probably do. So I'm
Mm.
not passionate about it. So there's no point.
Yeah, I,
Uh,
th- I think a really good one as well is that if you're like struggling to get work, or you want to, you really like it's, sometimes it gets quite desperate for people, is that if you put yourself in the perspective of maybe a business owner, so look for the actual business owner, and they've created some form of branding that they have, and a lot of the time it might be a little bit old school, or it might not look very modern. If you create then something to put in front of them that they like the look of, you're not just creating branding for them. This is like the visual of their business, right? And they're going to be so much warm to you if they think that looks good. They're going to be like, "Wow, this is amazing! Like, you're doing great work," and then they're way more likely to get you into the business, and then whether it's as a freelance or an actual job as well. So um, just that's the thought as well, is that always remember that these founders of these companies, it's their baby as well, and particularly typically founders are so busy that they don't have time for the marketing, but they'd always want it to be better. So if you can demonstrate something that's good, it really makes a big impact. Like if someone sent something to me and it looked way better than what we were doing, I would be like, right, I don't, even if I didn't have an active job, I'd be like, come in, here's some freelance work. How can we make it better? So that's from my perspective, of course.
oh, I love that. Justine has asked, what branch of digital marketing is there more demand of SEO? So I guess, what have you noticed in digital marketing and within your company that there needs to be more of?
Yeah, so in the realm that I operate in, it's very much like B2B, and in reality, LinkedIn is the platform for that. So I think SEO is very big when we're talking about B2C, which is business to consumer, because people are often using search engines to find products and things like that. In my approach, and I'm probably quite singularly minded with it all, we have just really doubled all of our efforts down onto LinkedIn, um, as an opportunity. And so I suppose the branch for that would fall under social, but I'm seeing a big demand for shorter form videos on the LinkedIn platform, um, well designed graphics, seeing quite a lot of motion design as well. That where there's actually no one in the video, and it's just videos like that. So in all honesty, I don't know if that's the best sort of for me to answer that question, because I see it from a little bit of a different perspective. I'm quite narrowly focused on the little segment that we're working on, which is LinkedIn at the moment.
Okay. And Josh has asked, any traits that immediately would make you discount a potential employee slash business partner? And then what about any green flags?
Right, so yeah, I have quite a few of both red flags and green flags here. So I believe when you first, and this would help as well, is communication right from the start. So if you're engaging with somebody, and as potential hire, respond fast to any emails from the potential client. Don't leave it 2 days, 3 days. Thoroughly read all of the communication. So I had just literally a situation recently where for some reason, when we email Gmail accounts from our business account, they tend to go into junk. So whenever someone sends me their email address, if I have them on LinkedIn, I'll send them an email, I'll follow up and say, check your junk folder. And someone replied to me straight away saying, oh, I've not seen the email. So I replied again, have you checked junk? Oh yeah, it's there. But on the first message, I put check your junk folder, and it's just been ignored. So that for me is a massive red flag. It's just details, right? And I think that's before you've met them or you've even displayed any work, the intent that you get back with them by displaying prompt communication is key here. Um, I think being proactive. So if you're going to have an interview with someone or a meeting with someone, reach out to other people in the business and ask if there's anything you think that you could prepare. It's just simply connect with them on LinkedIn or send them a message on LinkedIn or find their email address online. You can typically find the domain and it's first name dot surname afterwards, and ask if there's anything that the person you're interviewing with particularly likes to see. Another thing, again, if you're using LinkedIn as a tip, if you're interviewing, is I would say always go through the people's profiles, and down at the bottom of the profiles, you always have like a list of interests, and whether it be a football clubs, a band, or something that they're involved with, bring that up in conversation because it's going to be a good icebreaker and it shows that you've done your research as well. Um, that's a good tip. I'm just trying to think about the other make me discount. Um, I think if people, if it's hard to say laziness, I guess, but that's like a big thing here is that the way that the world is at the moment, we're in a pretty rough economic situation. And if people are going to make hires, that hire has to be really adding value. And it is what people want to see is what is your demonstrated track record of going above and beyond what the role might be, and than simply just sitting there waiting for instructions. And again, that's what I'm saying about this proactivity. Like proactive people are the ones that stand out from the crowd without a doubt. And proactivity is following up, is asking for feedback after every meeting that you might have with them. This is a tip as well I do. After every meeting you have, whether it's an interview or a briefing meeting, for example, on a piece of work, send a follow-up email straight after that meeting detailing what you talked about for the future, right? It just adds so much impact and shows that you're interested in those guys as well. That's a big thing for me, and a big green flag. It's not necessarily a red flag if you don't do it, but I think that makes you stand out from the crowd. The follow-up email after every meeting.
I think we'll ask one more question, then we'll move on to your hiring pitch, James. So Debbie's asked, do you have any advice for older people who are coming back into the jobs market?
Yeah, I mean, again, I guess if we're talking for this from a digital marketing standpoint, like at the end of the day, what some people may think is that if you're older, maybe you're not keeping up to date with the modern trends. But what's going to separate that is the quality of work that you do. So again, if you're able to showcase the quality of your work, that should then open the doors for you. And I think, yeah, I mean, I guess what kind of advice, what would be the advice that you'd need, just to elaborate on that, because I might have some points, but just to get the context in the question into context, what specifically would people want advice on when it comes to that?
Debbie, do you want to just yeah, go for it.
Hi, James. Yeah, just thinking from a personal point of view, it's I my long career in journalism came to an end last year. So now I'm looking at going into a completely new career, and which is why I'm doing this. So I'll be looking at something starting off at entry level pretty much, but as a much older person than a lot of other people who'll be going into this career. So I just wondered how that would be viewed from a recruiter's point of view, with this almost pensioner staggering through the door. Yeah, I just wondered if you had any advice from someone from my point of view.
Yeah, well, I think firstly, Debbie, you should go into a career in voiceover. You have an amazing voice, so that could be something for sure. Um, I don't know, to be fair. I think obviously just speaking to you right now, like you've got a great personality and a bubbly personality. So if there's a way of showcasing that to potential employers as well, um, there's a big thing about getting in front of video potentially or creating a little video about yourself. It's I've bitten the bullet with video. I've started creating them. It's the worst thing ever when you first start, but once you get into the flow of it, at the end of the day, be yourself. You are who you are. Some people will like it, some people hate it. You have to just deal with that and move on. But I would say, like, you've got to try and get the personality across, because you're right. Sometimes people may see someone slightly older and think, they're going to be, they're not going to have the skills, they're not going to have, I don't know, maybe the drive to succeed. But the moment even speaking to you, it's clear that you do, and you're articulate with how you're explaining it. So I think that a good way to showcase it if you're struggling would be to create a little bit of a mini video and put that in your portfolio, and an introduction to the work that you do, things that you're passionate about and you like doing. That will set you aside from the crowd, show the work that you're doing as well. And I think it can be tough, because what everyone says, there probably is like some form of ageism out there, just to be clear. But it's how you break those barriers down. So I would say being able to get your personality across video is a great one. Showcasing the work that you're able to do is a great one. And then, try and get your foot in the door with people that might want some marketing. Once you start building that portfolio up, then you're going to you build your confidence up, and the network will build as well. Really what you need is, once you have that foot in the door with one good client, they will have a lot of other people that they know. And then it's pushing them to refer you to other businesses. That's for everybody. You've got to ask for referrals. Once you do one good piece of work for someone and they're happy, you've got to put your neck on the line and ask for referrals as well. Like that is key. And then that's it. You need that one opportunity, and it can lead to loads of stuff in the future.
Okay, thank you. That's reassuring.
All
Thanks.
right.
Okay. James, would you like to discuss the roles that you've got? I know Monique's keen to know what roles you've got available and how we get in touch with the agency, and sort of what the interview process will look like.
Yeah, of course, right. So to obviously backtrack for a second, so we're a recruitment business, but we're not actually looking for a recruiter. We're looking for someone to come in, and it's basically a new role, right? So in the past, we've used a lot of marketing agencies, and we've really struggled with the quality of work. I think typically at an agency, what I've seen is that it becomes a game of Chinese whispers. You have a brief, it gets changed along the line, and sometimes you're not getting the best quality of work back. What I'm basically looking for, and I'll try and explain this as best possible, is a kind of all-round creative person. I'll explain what that means. So we create our own videos. So we have our own little setup. We have a little camera. We have the lighting and the audio. But what I need is someone competent at editing videos. Really, I guess like what that comes down to is the things that I'd look for is like being able to crop it with the right thing, the color grade it in the right way, get the subtitles, like any little advancements. You see videos these days where the subject moves a bit, and all it is I think the sort of camera moving from side to side. So the role would be basically getting the vision that I have in my head for everything that we have down into reality. So it would be working extremely close with me, sitting next to me basically, to go through editing videos and creating different type of graphics and PDFs and content that we have out there. All of these documents are geared towards generating more sales for the business. So the enjoyable thing about it is that you get to see the feedback direct, and the things that you're creating, we're pushing it out on LinkedIn as a team. You can start to see the engagement that we get back from that, and actually see your work like immediately getting put into action. It's not just doing some work and it's getting sat on for 6 months. It's like the engine with everything I have in my head is going to be the future of our business, because everything is so heavily focused on marketing, success stories, good PDFs. And then I guess that's at the base level of what we want. Then advancing from there, and we would teach all this and invest in all of this, is developing videographer skills. So not just doing the editing, but actually, right, it's not that difficult to set up the video camera and equipment. We can sort that out. Even photography with the camera that we have when we do team days out and team events and everything like that. Take pictures of everyone, because it's good content for social media. So I think, like, in terms of the role, I am open to the type of person that we hire for this type of role. I think we talked about here, salary banding, I'm quite open. What I probably had in my mind at the moment was a sort of a 25 to 35k basic salary, depending on the level of skills that we have. Again, I'm flexible with it all. Video editing, like content creation, there isn't SEO, things like that. So it's really about sort of graphic design and video editing as a base level of what I would like. But I think the important thing is that it's not necessarily for what we need doing right now. We do need those base skills. For what we need, for where this goes, is to basically be the go-to marketing person for our business. We're generating a lot of interest from the work that we're doing at the moment, and we're probably operating about 5% of efficiency when it comes to actual creating of the document. If we amp that up with the right person, and they understand what we're looking to do, and we can move quickly, we can really see massive results. And if those massive results start to pay off, I am literally happy for this person. I'll invest in courses. We take company trips and holidays. So we just got an incentive to go to either Switzerland or San Sebastian in Spain. So everyone in the company comes on those trips. It's a really good team that we have here, like really open, kind of a genuine no dickhead policy. And sorry to swear, but everyone is extremely different, but all have the same values. So we're very like eclectic bunch, but the key things are like we treat people like humans. We're all very driven and ambitious. We have a lot of fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but we all have that level of trust and autonomy in how we work that we don't have to be micromanagers. What I guess we need, I guess, moving away from the skills, what I personally need is somebody that isn't going to get like too disappointed with negative feedback. The fact is that we're going to be moving quick here, and if you create something that I don't like, it's just like, right, let's move on, no worries, that's not the right angle, let's move on to the next thing. I'll guide you and show you how best to do it until we get to that point. I think we need people who are naturally quite proactive and positive. Our values as a business is be proactive. Sorry, it's be proactive, support each other, stay curious, and no bullshit. So they're the four key values of the business, and I think that really reigns true with everyone that works here as well, from that perspective. And I think, yeah, look, the things that really are important for me is I would say since I've been getting more involved in the marketing aspect of it, I have a really keen eye. Every time I watch an advert on telly now, I'm looking at the advert and I'm thinking, what have they done there? How have they created that advert? Every ad you see on LinkedIn when you scroll, or Instagram when you're scrolling, I'm trying to get an understanding of how good that ad is compared to other ads I've seen. Small subtle details that you pick up on things that you're seeing is what's really important for me. Like a mind that is almost a little bit like obsessive with the work that you like to do, and a little bit like a little bit geeky with it because you get passionate about it, type of thing. I feel like I'm just waffling there, sorry, but hopefully that paints a bit of a picture.
You have, no, you have. So this is, it's a hybrid role, am I right in thinking?
Yeah.
Full time, and it's Manchester based. So with it being hybrid, how many days a week sort of would you be hoping for someone to be able to travel to you?
Yeah, so in all honesty, at the start, I would like as much time in the office as possible. So sort of 3 or 4 days a week at the start, and that is because I just like think it's going to be way easier for us to bed in. Now, once it was clear that became competent and the person could work, I'd be happy to go down to 1 or 2 days a week in the office, or even have like stints where they were working remotely. Like we're very flexible on that approach. It's just really like the quality of work and as quick as we can get it up and running. But like yeah, so hopefully that's it. So it's flexible. I think the thing that we have as well, just to explain with this company, is that we offer people the chance to work from home like a fair few days a week, and people prefer coming in because it's a really good vibe in the office. It's a really nice office as well. Do you want me to just give you a quick scan on the webcam here so you can see it, right? So
Yeah, shows the artwork.
right, so I've got this. So that's the spray painted wall. There's a sofa behind there. There's a bar area over there. And there's like there's Sophie there, and then it's all like exposed brick and quite nice and everything. So it's a good little spot that we have.
James, am I right in thinking you got a gym in Bonded as well?
Yeah, there's a gym. Oh, there's a gym downstairs. There's a
Telling
gym
it
bar.
volume up.
Yeah, there's a gym bar in the basement. There's a gym. They do loads of events. There's the second and third floors are all co-working spaces that we all have access to. Are really cool as well. Like you walk in here and it's like, wow, it's a nice space. Yeah. And like we also like do regular like team days out. So if you're working here full time, every quarter, the other benefits I guess you get, every quarter you have just a day off to go and do any charity work that you want to go and do, provided you're obviously doing the charity work. Over summer we're putting in a thing where once a month we'll have a hike day where we just get outdoors and we just go like on a nice walk to get away from the screens, type of thing. Like I said, we have the trips, we have meals out, and people don't have to participate in these. It's not mandatory, but it's just if people want to. And then also we set like incentives for individuals who might on a personal basis for achieving certain things. So I think I'm a big believer in that treat people well, look after them, and help them flourish. It's not like a micromanagement, treat people badly type of vibe whatsoever.
think that's covered that, to be honest, James. I guess sort of the interview process. So we've said, haven't we, that we'll have this pitch, and then I'll get together a job spec which will be posted out to the cohorts, and then applications will be coming to me for me to screen to then send over to yourself, of which there'll be an initial chat interview with you, and then there'll be a second stage interview where there could potentially be a task. So that's sort of the process. So I'll explain everything in the chats, and get everything sent out to you sort of in the next couple of days. So I think, James, are you happy for us to just sort of open up the floor? I know we've got loads of questions in the chat, but it'd be great to have some interaction verbally. So are you happy for us to sort of pop hands up?
100%. I'll try and answer as many as I can. Some things I'll probably struggle with, but feel free. Anyone has any questions, for sure.
Brilliant. Alice was straight on that then. So go for it, Alice.
Hi. So I popped in the chat. I said, would you be willing to employ somebody who's had no proper experience in editing and videography? Is this something you want to get off the ground quickly? So we'll need someone with relevant experience.
Yeah, in reality, I think if you, I'd need someone who can actually like do the editing, right? So that's what it is. Now, however, they don't need years of experience. At the end of the day, if you've picked up some skills quick and you've demonstrated you can learn really fast and visually you can create what I'd like, then no problem at all. I think that's like a good skill. But in reality, it would be right from the start. Let's get going with the editing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm muted. Sergey, have you got your hand up?
Hi, yeah, hi James. I just want to ask, how important do you think cold calling is nowadays? To like when doing outreach, like, do you think it's still quite popular, or is there other better methods?
Personally, it depends what industry you're in. I think obviously in recruitment, cold calling is important. I think if you're looking to develop clients, for example, I mean, what's the context, if you don't mind? Then I can explain.
Well, so like I do like freelance like digital marketing work, like either like web design, or it kind of depends. I'm kind of an all-rounder. But yeah, just like getting like most like local businesses. I'm doing work for those local businesses. Most like lead generation, client acquisition systems.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, I don't ever have a problem with cold calling. I'm quite old school when it comes to sales. But I think a lot of the time when you do cold call, you end up in a situation where you're wasting a lot of time, you're going through numbers and you're not reaching people. So if there's a way to use referrals, I think LinkedIn is a great tool if you can't find people on LinkedIn. I think networking events is a great place to go as well. Like obviously I go to a lot of networking things and I'm dealing with a lot of other small business founders. And I think that the really positive thing about everyone in this cohort here is that often the top pains that they have is around, or some of the top pains are around marketing, around their content creation, around their branding and their design. So once you put yourself in a position with those types of people and you can have those conversations, that's the best approach. So have a little look at some small business networking events that you can go to. And you know, people buy from people as well. So once you've established a relationship with people, you're so much more likely to start engaging with them. And that's something not to forget as well. But then also,
Sure,
again,
thank
like
you.
we said, again, like, you know, I would much respond better to someone sending me a cool little graphic for my business than a cold call.
Okay,
I'm gonna get
that
loads
makes a
of
lot.
I'm gonna get loads of graphics sent to me after this, aren't I? So
Okay, and then we did have a question which I've tried to answer in the chat. Is it okay if we talk about some of the companies that you work with and the clients that you have?
yeah, my clients, yeah. So it's yeah, we've got the examples there. So what would we like to know?
Raj, would you like to sort of elaborate?
Sure, it was just the brand names really that I could just do a bit of research on, but Joanna's already answered it, so that's more than enough. Thank you.
Yeah, did someone say the website was down before? I'm not too sure, but there's all of the quite a lot of client logos on the website. Yeah, it's currently unavailable. I have to double check that. That's the first time that's happened. So I'll get onto the guys straight away. But there's a load of client logos on the website, and I'll get that live in the next hour again. I'm not too sure what's happened there.
just going scanning through the chat. Has anyone got any more questions that they'd like to put their hand up for? Holly, go for it.
This isn't much about the clients, but you said you're making content. Are you looking for like people who are trying to build their brand, who are doing influential things in the videos? Or I don't know if I missed exactly what you said you were doing for the videos.
No, so at the moment the videos are just of me, and then we're going to get the team. So like recording ourselves, doing sort of like 45-minute to a minute and a half, 2-minute little videos just for LinkedIn. But as we then hone our skills and get better at it, we might look to do longer form for YouTube and create a YouTube channel, providing hiring advice, recruitment advice, and that type of stuff. I have a
Great.
million ideas. I just don't have enough way to get them down at the moment. That's the barrier. So
No
hopefully
worries.
that
Thank
helps
you.
answer it. Yeah.
Kizzy?
Hiya. Hi James. Quick question. How open are you to people who are a bit further afield from Manchester, or is it 100% to be close by?
No, I mean, they don't have to be close by. The thing is, and I guess what I was getting at is that whenever I've worked with people like from afar or online, I've always found it much more difficult to get what I have in my head when I'm sat next to them. And so I would really need somebody just to be, I know this might sound quite controlling, whatever it may be, but in order for us to get the relationship where they start to understand my vision, there's going to have to be that quite like close working together at the start. In the future, I can, like I said, I can be more flexible to it all, but I just all depending on how quickly the person can pick things up and how well we're able to work together. I'm going to need some time in the office at the start for sure, but I'm open that people can be based anywhere, provided they can obviously, get to the office, I guess.
Sure, okay, brilliant. Thank you so much.
No worries, thank you.
Stacey, ask away.
Thank you. Hi, James. So my question is, I know that you mentioned about the marketing agencies or agencies in general. The reason that I'm bringing that forwards now is because I am kind of helping out my partner's agency, which is a creative agency. We do photography, videography. I do photography, I do videography. I'm learning more about marketing because I want to be a bit more wise to what marketing offers. I also have a background of IT, so I've dabbled in an IT diploma, things like that. The reason that I'm asking is because this is something that I think would be of interest to me. However, some of the skills I'd say for graphic side of things, other people in the agency side of things would be more open to. So, what I'm maybe proposing is I would definitely be happy to be coming into the office to learn more about the company itself, about your vision, about everything. But having the other people there also to be able to do that, the background type of work, and having 3 people, if needed, as and when, as part of that package. Is that something that you're completely opposed to, or is that something that you'd possibly consider?
Yeah, I think, in reality, I think the idea that I have is that the person that we'd hire can do the work that we need doing without having to then pay another agency is I guess my thought process. It kind of like just takes away from the reason why we're looking to hire somebody a little bit, is that it would be, I think, better and beneficial to have someone that can both do the graphics and the video editing style of it all. I think also, yeah. So hopefully that helps, right? I think the idea for us is to sort of move away from the agency side and bring everything in house and have those skills in house, possible.
Thank you.
Roxy's asked, Roxy, I'll just ask Roxy's question first and I'll move on to Donna's. So would you be interested in hiring someone who does audio, video editing, but is currently upskilling into 3D motion design / animation? Or would you be looking for someone who can already do that in the role? I guess you have just touched on that, haven't you, really?
Yeah, I think the fundamental stuff is editing videos of people rather than say like motion design, and the creation of like graphics and documents and little one-page things as well. And so if people can do the base level stuff that we're looking for, then in terms of other skills, that would be an absolute bonus around everything. But I think the base level stuff is being able to edit videos or learn very, very quickly, or like create and create the documents as well. I think, yeah.
Donna?
Yeah, hi James. I actually just have a question about LinkedIn. What would your advice be if for someone that like what is sort of traversing two different industries? And well, I am basically, and I want to keep my options open. So how would you gear your LinkedIn for that? Because you're sort of sending mixed messages. What would you suggest?
Yeah, what are the two industries?
I work as a TV producer, and obviously I'm trying to traverse into marketing.
I don't know. I think it depends where you're gonna put most of your effort and where most of the sort of audience would be. So I would, you know, if you're moving from the TV industry into more digital marketing, I would probably be more inclined to focus your efforts around the digital marketing aspect. That's where you probably want to win clients, be known for, see the work being done. But I think that what we don't need people don't need to do is pigeonhole themselves that much, you know, these days. Like you can happily have 3 or 4 or 5 industries that you're interested in and that you talk about. That's your personal brand. But in terms of them potentially winning clients and being known for something, I'd probably hone into the thing that you're really looking to move into, because that's going to be the most relevant for future clients or prospects, or for your development as well. If that answers it, yeah.
Okay, have we got any more questions? Ooh, we got one in the chat. Can you suggest videography courses online?
I mean, I definitely can't. No, I mean, that's not something that I have any experience in, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. Like, yeah.
I think that's something that we might be able to help with. Tor, do you have? Oh, there we go, Dan. Yeah, we can find some sense. Yeah, that's great. Okay, I think if we've not got any more questions, is there anything else that you'd like to add, James, or are you happy with everything we've covered?
No, I'm happy with it all. I think, yeah, I think like I said, if anyone's looking to break into the industry, just get the work done, practice the work, hone your skills. Like, think about what you're good at and what you enjoy, and just keep practicing, and that creates your portfolio in itself. And yeah, and network where possible, and give yourself the opportunity to meet people you might want to work with. That's the thing. If you're struggling with the online stuff or applying, go out to some networking events. You know, they're a bit daunting, but everyone else is in the same position. I've been to a lot when I've just been absolutely nervous and completely clammed up, but after half an hour, you're absolutely fine. And I'm not someone that gets that nervous. I still get nervous with it all. So, trying to like be that proactivity about going out, because meeting people in person these days after COVID will open doors to everybody, when a lot of the world is now online. So push it out there, and eventually you'll meet the people that will connect you to someone, and it'll grow from there.
Oh, Steve.
Hi, James. Quick question. Have you got any, you know, on YouTube, you get a lot of people doing good video content. Are there any that you'd sort of like suggest that was your sort of what you're aiming for, what you're aspiring to?
Yeah, so there's one guy that I probably wouldn't go for exact same look, but there's one guy that who I think is brilliant, and it's Hormozy, Alex Hormozy. So yeah, have you heard of him? He does YouTube and short form across. I mean, he's content crazy. I think he does some really good videos. He's gone a bit wacky recently doing like cooking videos, but his earlier stuff talking about business was really insightful, very, very visually engaging, probably a little bit over the top for the sort of LinkedIn stuff that we'd be doing. It's a little bit different to like TikTok and Instagram, but I think the quality of his work and the kind of stuff that he does are really good. Yeah, Alex Hormozy, Gary Vaynerchuk, great as well. I think Hormozy's a legend. I mean, he's got I've read all of his books as well, and he does really good stuff as well.
Yeah, great. That helps. Thank you.
Lovely. Okay, then I think we'll we'll end it there. Oh, I can hear my dogs in the background. I think we'll end it there then, shall we? I think we've gone through a lot of questions, covered a lot there. So, yeah, just off the back of that, if anyone is keen to apply for this role, if either you want help with the application or you want to send it over to me, just send it via Slack. But I'll be uploading some information into Slack channels in the next couple of days.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Really good to meet you all.
Thank you for coming on,
Thanks,
James.
James.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Right, shall we have a quick break then before we get into the afternoon tasks? For my mentor group, we're going to stay here, and then for the rest, you know what to do. So shall we come back at 3:15, at least for my mentor group? See you at 3:15.
Yeah, that's fine for me as well. I'll pop a message in the Slack channel for all of my lot.
Georgia, have you dyed your hair?
What?
Dyed your hair?
No, I've just not washed it, so it looks like a different color. No, I've just slicked it back. No, I wish. I need it redoing, but I need the pennies to do it, unfortunately, and I don't have them right now.
Are they your natural colour at the top?
Yeah, I'm like brown, natural. And then
Oh.
Thought you were one of those, Georgia.
what? Oh, I'm not one of you, Dan. No, sorry. But I envy you that much that I pay money to have hair that looks like yours. So what a compliment.
All right. I'll see you guys at 3:15.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi guys, welcome back. Is everybody here now? Got 27 to call. Just make sure as well that you're in the right Zoom group. And if you can have your video on as well, just to make sure you're there, or at least a lot easier for me to talk to somebody if I can see you. All right, I think we can get started because we've got 27, which is actually more than what I expected today. I'm going to start sharing my screen and then we'll go over the 2 tasks this afternoon. Are you guys ready to play around with some SEO tools? A lot of information this morning, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. After this week, my mind is absolutely frazzled. Honestly, like, I need a nap after today.
I feel like everybody enjoyed Design Week and then suddenly, oh, okay, SEO. Hi, Stacy.
Hello, sorry, I just wanted to add about the nap. I was watching a TED talk last night and it was saying that to be able to absorb information better, you need to have sleep after the information. So that is like bang on. Like I said, that every time I want to learn something, I just want to go off for 20 minutes and just have an excuse to have a lie down and sleep.
That is my
But there's
life.
a lot.
Honestly, I could fall asleep on a washing line. I honestly 2 minutes, I'm like, gone.
Don't blame you.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I do that as well sometimes when we have a long lunch break, but rarely actually, because as a mentor, you feel like we only have a quick lunch break because we need to prepare for the afternoon, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't have a teaching experience, but I can imagine teachers are like that all the time. Like waiting for their students to finish eating and all of that.
One of my best friends is a primary school teacher and she looks so stressed all the time.
I can imagine. Right. I'm gonna start sharing my screen now. Let's see. Right, can everybody see that? I'm on one file at the moment. Like, can you just say yes if you can, because I can't see you guys when I'm sharing
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on one file, resources, and week 3, so day 2 of SEO. So we're going to do a little bit of technical SEO, no coding involved whatsoever. It's really just a matter of looking at the tools that we had an overview of earlier this morning with James. So let's start with the first one. Right, technical SEO checks. So this bit here is what we did yesterday as well, choosing your product and service. And as you can remember, we use Glimpse and Google Trends as well to see what keywords are in demand or trending. So just literally filling in this workbook here about your company, product, service, and product information as well. And then we're gonna get into page speed. So it says here, choose a priority keyword for your product or service using the same Ahrefs tool, and using that keyword and the top competitor, check the page speed for the top 10 competitors using Redico. Now with Redico, this can take a little bit of this can lag a little bit because obviously it's trying to gather a lot of data from all over the internet. So just be a little bit patient with Redico. Let's try one.
Joe,
Oh,
I
sorry.
don't think your screen is moving. Is that meant to be happening?
Yeah, I'm getting that as well.
It's just saying check my. You've just shown the task 1. Yeah, it's moving now. Okay.
Okay. I think
There we are.
right. Okay. Is that moving now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So shall we just use the same one that I used yesterday, which is home staging? So if our keyword is home staging, it says here, Radical, right?
Sorry, Joe, I'm a little bit lost because I was doing the same. I was trying to catch up because I couldn't see your screen. I'm a bit kind of lost where we are with it.
Right, that's fine. So just starting with a slide 1, if you can all see that. And then this one is literally just a workbook that we had yesterday as well, if you remember. So we used Glimpse and Google Trends for this one. So just literally fill in your information.
Yeah, I don't think that's
I'm
coming
not
up.
seeing that.
Oh, that's interesting. Have a look. Let me just close all my windows. I'm gonna stop sharing and then reshare. Right, how's that now?
Yeah, I can see that now.
Yeah, that's better.
Right. So as I said, this is the slide from yesterday. So choosing a product or service. We used Glimpse and Google Trends yesterday as well to see what's in demand and trending in terms of keywords. So just literally fill in this workbook here with your company name, product or service, and then product and service information. And then when it comes to page speed, we're going to be using the top keywords that we identified yesterday, and then we're going to be using Redico this time. So if you remember yesterday, I was using as an example home staging. I think one of you has got that as a project topic. So I've identified, I'm in a different tab right now. I hope you can still see that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just, my keyword is home staging. So I've identified this company here called Lemon and Lime Interiors as my competitor, for example. And I'm gonna take the URL. Just gonna take the main domain. And then I'm gonna pop that into here in Redico. And then using the keyword home staging. And then I'm gonna click analyze. So this is gonna take a while. I'm just gonna go over the rest of the task first while waiting for that. And then it says here, screenshot the results and upload to your learning journal, and obviously share on Slack first so that we all know that we're working on similar things for this task. And outline below a benchmark score for your website to hit in order to compete. So what do we do here? Okay, I'm still waiting for the results. Right, because I don't think we can move on. I can't go to page speeds insights yet while we're waiting for this. Let's try to have a look at page speed insights as well. So I'm gonna key in the URL that I used earlier. And I think we saw this earlier as well with James this morning. So as you can see, using this URL here, it says failed in terms of mobile. Let's have a look at desktop. It's failed as well, because obviously it's got its own KPIs here. I know that we don't all understand all the terminologies here, but I think, for example, one of the top KPIs or key performance indicators would be the largest contentful paint. If you don't, obviously, if you don't know any of these terms, you can just easily Google them. Largest contentful paint, which is essentially a metric to measure the perceived load speed based on the biggest file, if that makes sense, the heaviest file that you've used in your website. So these are some of the criteria essentially to measure the page speed insights of that page. Let's go back to Redico. I hope it's loaded now. Right, okay. So going back to the task, it says here, using the keyword and a top competitor, check the page speed for the top 10 competitors using that tool. So going back to Redico, I'm going to have a look at the different competitors that have been identified here. So as you can see, you'll have like websites called Home Staging Association, the best home staging in the UK, Molly Marshall, .co.uk, etc., etc. So I think there's about more than 10 here. And if you can look at your the site the insights for that specific that specific keyword for this company here called Lemon and Lime Interiors. You'll see that your site speed is 40, and then on average, I think you can pretty much do an average of the speed rates here. So you've got 27, you've got 39, you've got 32, you've got 65. Just by looking at.
I don't know where you're pointing to. I'm completely lost. I'm sorry.
And what do you see at the moment?
I do see a Redico screen, but I don't know.
You see my cursor?
No.
Oh, right. Okay. So I'm looking at the right-hand side. It says
okay.
how you compare.
Right.
Right. And then I'm looking at the, I think we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think about 12 competing websites here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll see that for the competitor that you've identified, you've got 40 rating.
Sorry, where's the 40?
This one here, the black bit here.
Oh, I can't really see. Okay.
It says here 40. Do you see that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I moved my stuff out the way. I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them would have 27, 39, 32, 65. So just by looking at the color itself, you would know if it's good or bad. So I suppose 40 is not really good because it's red. And then if you compare that with the rest of it, 65 would be like the best one so far.
Does it refer to speed, does it?
Yep.
So these numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you explain a little bit more about that? So what about the speed? What is that, 27? I don't know what that figure means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either, but just looking at the numbers, that's this page's rating for that specific keyword.
Oh, right, okay.
That they've identified in that website called Lemon and Lime Interiors.
Okay.
That makes sense. And then let's have a look at the task.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and then I'm back to the task tab here. Screenshot the results and upload to the Learning Journal and outline below a benchmark score for your website to hit in order to compete. So essentially, just looking at Redico, I think the best performing site would be this one here, which is actually a Wikipedia page. So it's got a high score of 65 and yours is 40. So you'd be competing with probably, because you wouldn't want to be competing with the ones with the low score, isn't it? You want to be like average and above score, if that makes sense. Yeah, and then I think if you look at page speed insights here, that would make a little bit more sense for us. So let's have a look at what's the URL again? That one. So I'm on this site here, and I'm keying in Lemon and Lime Interiors URL and clicking Analyze. No, I think we did it earlier. And then what the task is asking is suggest some opportunities for the technical team to improve your page speed.
Sorry, can I just say I saw something on that what's it called, Redico screen that might be helpful. If you just go back up, Joe, where it says the name underneath the 26, it's got colours there with like 90 to 100, 50 to 89. So I presume it'd be excellent if it was green 90 to 100.
Yep.
So then if they have, there's only a few, isn't there, that are kind of that orange colour that's 65 nearer to the top. So I don't know whether that's helpful.
I think so, yeah. Just by looking at the colors, you would know if it's good or bad. And then going back to page speed insights, we looked at it earlier as well. So I think the task is just asking you really to screenshot this. And then if you go down to the bottom, you will have some diagnostics here. So this information here, obviously we don't understand all of it, but all of this information here would be useful for your tech guy or developer who you might be working with to improve your page speed. So things like minimize main thread work. I don't know what main thread is, but essentially you screenshot these things here and tell your dev that these are the stuff that we need to be working on to improve our speed, our page speed. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so are we literally just running these tests and then just copying the information over?
Yeah, most of them anyway for this task here.
Okay.
Sorry, Joe, just to say, so would just a screenshot of that bottom section be enough to put into that for this task?
I
Into
think
that
so, 'cause it's asking you, like, suggest some opportunities for the tech team to improve your page speed.
But I mean, would that be okay, just a screenshot?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because we're not asking you to, to make improvements.
Yeah, because it'd just be a bit clunky to copy and paste all that information. It's going to come out wrong, and if a screenshot's okay, it's just getting it back into that PDF document that's not always easy. I seem to find.
Yeah, so you can just put a note that see screenshot on.
Yeah, and then just add it as just put the file name of the screenshot. Yeah.
There's a good
copy.
There's a good tool that you can use that my partner told me about, and it's called, is it called Zippo or no, let me try and find it.
I've not used it myself, but I've heard of it.
Not Zippo, I forgot what it's called. Anyway, it's like a little tool that comes up on your desktop.
Oh, is it Snippet?
That's it. Thank you. I was like, which one is it? Yeah, that one. That's great to use. Can we? I'm guessing it'll copy and paste quite easily onto there, won't it?
Yeah, that's fine. You can screenshot or you can copy with whatever tool you know to use.
Theta, can you tell me what that was again? Because I've completely, I've just forgotten.
Snippet, I think.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then the third bit, oh, sorry, Alice, did you have a question?
No, I don't. I just need to put lower my hand, sorry.
Right, okay. And then the third bit of this task is about mobile friendliness. I think this is the same as the insights page. Let's have a look. Right, URL. So that's the URL, and then let's see. Yeah, I think it's giving you the same insights as well, but you can screenshot this as well to say that it's actually based on their criteria, on Merkel's criteria, this is not mobile friendly, but everything else is fine. Another way that I do it personally, just as a sort of a manual thing, is just literally to go to the website and then move your minimize the screen to see if it looks great, even on a smaller screen. So do you see me moving my window?
No, I don't see that.
Yeah, I see that.
Do you? So I'm on the Lemon and Lime website at the moment, and I'm just trying to minimize the screen to make it.
I can't see that either.
Oh, you can't?
No, I've just got ready.
No, I can't.
Okay, let's try again. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Right, so that's manually what I do to see if something still looks fine in a smaller screen. I think that's it. It's not a very good example actually, because it's got this burger menu here, even if it's a desktop. So let's have a look at, let's say, House of Fraser, because James mentioned it earlier. So this is a website. You see my screen, right? I'm on House of Fraser at the moment.
Yeah.
Right. If I take that out, no, actually, I'll just go to this one here. House of Fraser. So that it looks like that on a desktop. And then if you move your screen, your navigation changes to like a sort of a burger menu here. And things still look the same. But that burger menu disappears when it becomes a desktop version. Did you see that?
I like how you call it a burger menu. I never knew
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we call it a burger menu. So you sort of have an idea how things change when it's in a smaller screen. So that's how I do it manually anyway. I don't use I don't use Merkle or the Insights one when I'm trying to see if something is mobile optimized. Right. So any questions about this?
Yeah, I've got a quick one. You know, all the links that you just went on, are they all on the task already?
Yeah, all of them are in the tasks.
Thank you.
The task file anyway. So you've got Ahrefs here. I'm on one file. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got Ahrefs, you've got Redico, you've got Speed Insights, and then you've got Mobile Friendliness tool.
Sorry, I've got another quick question. Do we have to use what we used yesterday, like the brand we used yesterday, or can we do it for something else?
You can do it for something else if you want, so that you have more data.
Yeah.
If it's a
Thank
bigger,
you.
or yeah. If you struggle with a small company or your own business to find the data that you need, then you can use a big company so that you have more data to see. Right, so I'm going to the next one, which is, let me just have a look at the chats. Right, so digital PR. Right. So I'm on the task three called digital PR. Task 3 is looking again at the top competitors for your product or service. Use Ahrefs to check the backlinks that they have built to their websites. So everybody understands what backlinks are, right?
Yep.
Percent no, sorry.
At least you have an idea of what backlinks are.
Are they external links to the site? Are they? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, essentially that. Yeah. So you connect to other websites, and the more you connect to authority websites, the better it is for your own website.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's have a look. Where do the best links come from? What digital PR tactics do you think they have used? Like news generation, competitors, product, giveaways. So have a click on the Ahrefs link here. I think it's gonna take us automatically to the backlink checker. So if you can see my URL, yesterday, remember we were using keyword generator. Now we're looking at backlink checker here. So I'm just gonna use the same competitor that I've identified earlier. So that would be Lemon and Lime Interiors. And then I'm just gonna click check backlinks. Right, so everyone can see that, right? You see here a domain rating of 32.
Yep.
I think there's, yeah, you can, if you want to know more details about that, you can just hover on the icon here. Right, so you can see here that 32 is actually pretty bad, or anything below 50, I think is pretty bad. And then you can see that they've got a lot of referring pages here. So the first one would be this one here called Country Living, and they've got a score of 85, which is good. They've got what is this, housebeautiful.com.uk.com, and you've got Home and Gardens, and then you've got Ideal Home, etc., etc. Now the task is asking us to asking us where do their best links come from. So I suppose the best links will be coming from the top ones here with a high rating here. So those would be these websites here that we've talked about earlier. And then what digital PR tactics do you think they have used? Would it be news generation? Would it be competitions, product giveaways? So for me, just looking at the URLs, obviously you can click on them and look at the websites, but just looking at the URLs, Country Living would be a magazine, isn't it? It's a massive publication. And then what else do we have here? Livingetc.com could probably be a blog site. Let's have a look at that. I'm not sure if they're a magazine, but it looks like a yeah, maybe it's a magazine because they've got a news section. And then let's look at the rest. So this one here is, although it doesn't have a high rating, so let's have a look at this one here by Jackson Wood Turners. Yeah, it looks like a company, a business itself. It's an e-commerce business, right? And then they've got Elle as well, which is great because Elle is a high authority website. So just have a look at all of the results that you see here and see if, you know, if are they like publications? Are they like doing some product giveaways or discounts? Would there be like discount websites as well, like voucher sites and all of those things? And then plan a strategy for how you would try to build links for your own product or service. What tactics will you use? What campaigns will you create? Which websites, publications, online magazines will you approach for a link? Is that clear?
Yeah, kind of.
Somewhat. So where are the best links? Do you copy and paste the EL, do you, and put that in there?
So what does it
So
say?
where it says where do the best links come from?
Yeah,
Do
so you can copy the URLs here.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this bit here is really like your own like conclusions about what are these websites mostly, you know, what category do they fall under? Are they like big blog sites? Are they publications? Are they I'm trying to look at like a voucher page actually, if we can find one. They've got Hello Magazine as well, which is great. What else do they have here? They've got luxury cottages, so I suppose this is a business orientated site as well. They've got Castle Fine Art, which is great. What else? Right. I think it's because this is a website, sorry, a service heavy industry. So let's try to look for one that is more e-commerce. So let's see Nike. Oh no, I mean you can do ASOS, perhaps. I'm gonna check ASOS. So I'm back in the backlink checker of Ahrefs. Right, they even have Hailey Bieber's Wikipedia linking back to them, which is great. They've got what is this? Retailers like Refinery 29. They've got voucher. This is what I'm talking about. They've got voucher codes as well. So these are like sites that are like offering you discount codes and all of those things. And then websites, sorry, wedding sites as well. I think that's a wedding site. And Groupons, they've got Groupon as well. So have a look at the different types of websites that are linking back to that competitor. Any other questions?
Sorry, can I just and this isn't related to this, well, I suppose it is related to the task, but if you got a backlink like that was really good to your website, how could you kind of show off about that and try and get even more backlinks or, you know, any more, use it in marketing?
You mean if you've got existing like authority backlinks?
Yeah, like if you were to say, oh, so would it be as simple as like doing a post and saying as seen in Hello Magazine? Or
I would do that. So yeah, I would definitely do that. And then obviously organically you're going to show up in the first page of Google if you've got a lot of authority websites linking back to your page. You can also do I guess you can post on Instagram, for example, or any other social media platforms and say, you know, just brag about that you're
Would you actually put the URL for the link in the Instagram?
I would, because the whole point of it is driving traffic to your site, right? So you don't want to drive away traffic
course,
site. So you would, I think
Yeah.
I suggest that you put your own URL there.
Yeah.
But not just a homepage. So for example, if Hello Magazine features one of your products, then you should link it to that product page, not just your homepage, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you could almost like screenshot it
Mhm.
and just, yeah, and say as featured in or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Or even just the logo. I mean, you can easily get, you know, the big magazines logos on Google.
Yeah,
And then-
would you dare to do that? And until you were told get my logo off your site or whatever, you know, would you just
because if
take
they
the logo?
featured you, I don't think there's a problem with that. If they featured you on their site,
Yeah,
if you
okay.
have their logo on their site, you can have that logo as a link
Mm,
to the write-up about you.
mm. Thank you.
That's a good question, actually, Sita. Yeah. So juice that out because, you know, these are good opportunities when you work with big media companies. Right. I'm going to stop sharing. Let me know if you have any other questions. You can just stay in the lobby or you can summon me into your breakout rooms. Shall we have up to 4:15 on this one and come back here by 4:30?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks.
Oh, Joe, do you have time to look at you know, the issue that I've got on
What file?
yeah. So shall I just ignore this join breakout room?
Yeah, don't do anything yet.
Okay. Yeah, I seem to just be having yeah, just issues within it that I can't seem to get past.
Bear with me. Yeah, you can share your screen if you're okay with that.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
It's a green button on your screen.
Okay, hang on. I've got all sorts of pages open. Can we do it through yours?
Yeah, of course.
And then you can show me because I really don't know where to.
I have a different view though, but let's have a look. Do you remember what specifically you can't access in one file?
So for instance, I've in the learning journal, I've sorry, can you hear me? Yeah. In the learning journal, I've uploaded various tasks. But then it's saying that, well, it's not showing them as if I have completed them in the portfolio area.
All right. Okay. So you need to go to courses. Let's see. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, I did that. And because I heard someone else discussing that you need to kind of click on the video and then get to the end, you know, just go through it and say finish, say that you've actually viewed that you were there in
I don't
attendance.
think you need to go through the material itself because the attendance button at the bottom is there to stay.
I don't see that. So if I go on courses, I just have 4 items and it says view this course.
Mhm.
And is that what you mean? Is that what I don't really know what I'm supposed to do there. So I've gone into them. I've gone into view this course. For instance, the 4th one. Is that what you're seeing in my one file?
Can you
yours?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
On courses.
Yeah. Do you know how many I've got 2 of those, and that's it.
So if we go to one of them, it just looks like slightly different, but
yeah.
Oh no, that's a recording. Okay.
Yeah, I did go through that, and I can see that then you just confirm, that you were there or whatever. I've been able to do that.
Yeah.
Because you just go to that finish button, don't you? And then you're kind of confirming that you were there on the course.
Okay.
But I only see 2 of those. I've only got 2 of those icons. If you go back onto course details, into courses.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you're seeing all of those, lots of squares with that image with the microphone in. I literally have 2 of those.
2 courses, you mean? 2
Yeah.
recordings. Yeah, I think that's fine because we only had
and one from the 29th. So it seems like it's allowed me to upload and assign a task to that week, but then the last week I'm not seeing anything for last week.
If you haven't seen anything from last week, maybe I'm not sure if it's been uploaded by Dan yet. So wait till Friday.
Right. So I'm just presuming that that's why I can't assign tasks.
Assign tasks. I don't.
Well, not assign tasks. I don't really know how to use it. If I go on the learning journal, I've done the 28th of February. I did day 1 tasks, the digital footprint 4-piece smart goals. That's showing.
Yeah.
But then I also uploaded the task day 2. Which I'm not seeing that. As a task that I've completed. I've put the durations in there. I've got week 2, day 1. I'm not seeing that either.
Right. Okay.
Well, as if I'm seeing it in the learning journal, but then it's as if I haven't done anything with it.
Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. So it says here not signed off.
Yeah, where do I do that?
Okay, so I think I'll ask Lisa or Dan. Leave it with me. I'm gonna ask them if all the tasks have been assigned to you specifically as a learner.
Yeah, I don't think I'm seeing the right things because the courses are not there. The only where you can see there, it looks like everything is fine for the first week.
Yeah.
And then anything after that, it's not showing.
Okay.
It's not showing.
It's
showing that it's outstanding, that it's pending, and I've done it, and I don't understand why.
Okay, leave it with me, and I'm gonna ask if Dan can sort it out.
Thanks.
Because only him and Lisa are actually one file center manager, so I can't do from my end.
And like you say, you've got a totally different view, haven't you? It sounds like it's something that is technically not quite set up right with mine. Because I was one of the people in the first place, I didn't have a problem with one file, and then now that I'm going on, I think there is something not set up correct on it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure what to do then. I'll just save all the PDFs or any work that I do.
I think it's still, but are you able to upload to the learning journal or not at all?
Yeah, but then again, even like with the time, how long it takes me, it's very clunky of how you put in the information. It's awful. I really
That's
don't.
one file for you.
It's horrible, isn't it? Because obviously, if I'm not doing it in those exact assigned times, I need more than one place to input the times. So I'm just adding it all together, obviously. But
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm accurate because I haven't been keeping a clock
that's
on.
fine. I mean, estimates are fine. And then you can also just upload them all at once. You don't have to upload every time you finish a task. So you can upload all the tasks for that week all at the same time, if that makes sense. Because I think
Yeah.
the learning journal will allow you to do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, well, I can, like you say, if someone could have a look in the background, it's not going to stop me from uploading the tasks anyway, and I'll just ignore it because it says that it's like urgent and things like that, and I'm thinking, well, I've done that. I don't know why it's saying it's urgent.
Yeah. Okay, let me.
So I'll ignore it then until I hear from you, Joe.
Yep,
That's
I'll follow up Lisa right now, and then I'll let you know.
Thank you. That's great.
Should I move you to room 3? Right. Hi, guys. Are you guys staying in the lobby? Or do you need any help with the tasks? Nope. Right. I'm gonna go to one of the breakout rooms.